Light has 4 attributes you can work with to make your scenes look the way you intend. The color, intensity, quality, and direction of your light sources all play a role in determining the overall look of your video. Whether your goal is a contrasty film noir scene or a flat, lifeless office scene, it's your job to light it properly so that your camera will capture the results you need. With the right equipment and a deep knowledge of the 4 main attributes of light, you can achieve great lighting in just about any scenario. Understanding how color and light work is essential to successful lighting. There are 2 factors to consider: getting your colors to look natural and using color to set the mood of a scene. Achieving natural looking colors in your footage has everything to do with the white balance you set on your camera and what's referred to as the color temperature of the light sources in your scene. All light sources have a color temperature. This is measured in degrees Kelvin. It's a bit confusing, but this has nothing to do with how hot a light source is to the touch. Instead, light sources with different color temperatures produce a wide range of color casts that you must counteract with your camera's white balance. Sources like a lit match or tungsten lights have lower color temperatures at or below 3200 degrees Kelvin. These give an amber or reddish cast. Sources with higher color temperatures, like direct sunlight or shade, have color temperatures of 5600 degrees Kelvin and above, and give off a more bluish cast. Our brains are extremely adept at counteracting these color casts, even in mixed temperatures, so that white generally looks white even when we walk from a low-lit room to the bright outdoors. We basically have perfect auto white balance. Your camera, however, needs a little more help to render colors naturally. It only has the ability to interpret one color temperature at a given point in time. This is why videographers have to adapt to their environment by using techniques such as color correction gels. You want to fix as much as possible before you get to post-production. Getting natural looking colors is a great place to start, but once you've got the white balance all set, you may want to use color to create a mood in your scene. That white light you see is really the additive property of light at work. Red, green, and blue light are combining to create white. In fact, these 3 primary colors combine in different variations to form every color of light that your camera sees. We can, of course, filter out some color in order to give our scene the look we want, using what are commonly referred to as party gels. Unlike color correction gels, used to help balance the color cast of different sources, party gels are used to intentionally introduce color into a scene. It's an important attribute of light we can manipulate to sell our story. The intensity of a light refers to its brightness. The intensity of the source itself is measured in lumens. If your light intensity is too low, you'll have to increase the gain or ISO on your camera in order to record correctly exposed video. Luckily, you can usually control the intensity of a light source itself with a few different tools. One option is to switch the wattage of your bulb. Another is placing a neutral density gel over a light or window, which will cut the intensity without affecting its color temperature. A scrim has a similar effect. You can also use a dimmer, but be aware that this will shift the color temperature of a tungsten light. Finally, you can simply adjust the distance of your light from your subject. A third critical attribute of light you can control is quality. The quality of a light source affects how the highlights and shadows look in your scene. The 2 common terms used to describe light quality are hard and soft. Hard light is produced by small sources and creates crisp, sharp transitions between shadows and highlights. 2 good examples of a hard light source are the sun at noon and a clear incandescent bulb. Soft light is produced by larger sources and produces diffused, gradual transitions between highlights and shadows. Essentially, a soft light will wrap around your subject and illuminate the shadows to a certain extent. 2 examples of soft light sources are overcast skies and softboxes. If you've got a hard light source, you can assert some control over it. You can diffuse it with material to make it softer, use flags to shape it, or use reflectors to bounce some light back into the shadows to lower the contrast ratio. The 4th attribute of light is direction, or angle. This is a crucial component to achieving realistic lighting. The direction of your most intense light, commonly called the key light, determines where your primary shadows will fall. In other words, if you want to mimic sunlight coming in through a window, place your light to the side of the subject, rather than directly overhead. You also want to consider the effect that direction has on your subject. Lighting a face from the front at eye level will create an extremely flat-looking image. Light coming from the side reveals texture and shape. While each attribute can be described individually, the reality is that color, intensity, quality, and direction work together to give a specific light source the unique look it produces. Combining various light sources with different properties allows you to properly light a scene in the precise way you want. Ultimately, your camera can only capture the light you put in front of it. Good luck out there, and thanks for watching.
Continued learning and practice, as well as taking refreshers on the basics, will help keep your skills sharp. Check out our video courses to stay on top of your game. Find a course by visiting videomaker.com/courses or click the link in the description.